Hello everyone, it's Mottzy again, back with another Mottzy Minutes. Today I will be covering an enhanced version of the object collisions I covered in a previous tutorial. Here we have two bats moving side to side. This first one follows the original object collision approach. As you can see, it works okay, except for the fact that the monster has to essentially overlap the player in order for it to trigger. There's also some risk of the player being able to run through the monster if you get it just right. Here is our enhanced version. You can see now the monster actually stops when it hits the player and changes to an attack animation. I can also have the player move out of the way and the monster will continue. Let's take a look at how this works. First, let's look at the original script from the first tutorial. It's a pretty basic script, and the main focus was to get the monster to move left and right, which is what all these switches are for, and then do some evaluation on the monster's coordinate versus the player's coordinate. And if they were overlapping, it would trigger an event that would say the player died. Again, this works okay, except it does require that the monster is overlapping the player. So let's look at the new script. Here's the new script. Not only do I have collide with player checked, I also have some changes to how the actual structure of the script works. First, you can notice that I want to track the X coordinate of the monster on every single iteration of this synchronized script. Also, in the walk 1 left or walk 1 right, I had to check this checkbox called halt if can't move. What this means is it'll stop the monster from moving forward, but it won't stop the script. That means that the X coordinate of the monster won't change as the script proceeds. I use that to my advantage when I want to do this check to see if the monster has actually changed its position. So this is the first X coordinate I started with. Down here, I want to set a new coordinate to variable 5. And between these two, if they are the same, I'll know that the monster has stopped moving and therefore it has likely run into the player. So I do a subtraction, and then I check whether the contents of the subtracted value equals 0. If it does equal 0, then I proceed to do my attack animation. Then the important step here is to set a value, in this case I use local variable 7, that I can use to check whether I need to continue making the monster move left and right. If this were equal to 0, then I want to make sure I unset this value so that once I get down to this portion of the script, I can know whether I need to continue the movement of the monster or keep it where it's at. This script is very similar to the original, although it's much more lightweight. Basically, this just makes the increment go up by 1, and then does just check whether it needs to turn these switches on or off, which determines the direction that the monster is going. Overall, the script isn't much more complicated than the original, although it only allows for movement left and right, or if you wanted to use Y coordinates up and down, there is some possibility of making this do all directions, and possibly in the future I'll do a tutorial on that. However, this is a good way to get to the point of having a moving object that can run into the player and have interaction such as causing damage or killing the player based upon what you're trying to do. And just for fun, here is an example of a bunch of different bats moving back and forth that the player can interact with and cause the player to get damage or die. As you can see, it works just fine. Doesn't matter how many events I have doing this. Each one of these bats will interact with the player as they are supposed to based upon object collisions. That's it for this tutorial. If you want to know more about my projects, please check out Mottzy.com. Next week I should be coming back with some larger tutorials. I've been a little bit sidetracked by getting started on 2 new game development projects. You can see that on my website and feel free to follow along. I'm also streaming on Twitch occasionally. I haven't set up a schedule, but if you're interested, please check out both my website or my Twitter feed or the various Discord channels for Smile Game Builder and RPG in a Box. I hang around there and I let people know what's going on. If you're looking for other tutorials, again, please check out Companion Wulf's website and YouTube feed. He's got some great stuff he's working on, and I think he's coming up with some more things in the near future. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.